way to Tiananmen Square and we got distracted by these people making some fresh dumplings. We've really struggled to find vegetarian dumplings while we've been here, and what's better than freshly made? So we had to stop. Now we've had our dumplings, we can continue on our way.
We just came through security on our way to Tiananmen Square, and we don't have our passports because they're in the embassy, so they weren't going to allow us in.
They escorted us out, actually.
And then we remembered that we'd taken photographs of our passport and visa on our phones, so we were able to show them that and they just let us in.
Yeah, so that's a good tip. If you don't like carrying around your passport, make sure that you take a photo of your passport and your visa, because a lot of places in China you can't buy tickets or get into places without it. Behind me is the Chairman Mao Memorial Hall. His body is there inside in a crystal coffin. You can go in there. We're not going to go and have a look. We're just going to admire the building from the outside. And behind the hall, is Tiananmen Square. A lot of official ceremonies go on here, so it's quite popular. I think that's why it's a bit hard to get in with all the security checks. And north of that is the Forbidden City, so let's go have a look. I think there's a tower that we can go up just behind the Forbidden City, which is meant to give 360 views of Beijing. That's okay. So someone else that wanted to take a selfie with me for some reason. They didn't speak any English and I didn't speak any Chinese, but they have my photo now. They seemed nice enough. Just keeps happening everywhere. And this is Tiananmen Square.
Decent sized moat. So once upon a time you can imagine guards standing out around here, and they still have police guards around here making sure no one's getting over, but I don't know who would want to go across that moat. There's actually guys fishing here. There's a few fish around, but yeah, nice way to spend a Sunday arvo.
When you read about Beijing, you read a lot about these hutongs, which are old like alleyways that are apparently really narrow and small, and I was trying to search where they are, and while I was searching realised that we've been through so many, they're everywhere.
We basically did a hutong tour the other night, yeah, without even knowing. Without
even knowing. We just thought that it was Beijing. I love it when you just accidentally come across like top sites of the city.
I'm pretty sure our hotel entrance is off of a hutong.
Yeah, I think we're off of a hutong as well. Hutong scene.
Behind me is the Forbidden City, and it's forbidden to foreigners without passports, so unfortunately we can't get in there. But it's impressive to see from the outside at least.
We're in Jincheng Park. This is where you're meant to get the 360-degree views of Beijing. Seems like a nice park. It was only 2 RMB to get in as well, which is like, I don't know, maybe 40 cents or something, so it's pretty cheap.
Working off those crackers?
And dumplings. So this is the Forbidden City. This is about as best a view that we're going to get of it. You can see how big it is from here.
You really have to see it from a height to get an idea how big it is. From the outside we had no idea that it was so extensive.
I feel like we've spent so long in like a little area around our hotel that you kind of forget just how big Beijing actually is. And then you come up here, we're not even that high up, and you just see how massive it is. There's a couple of times where we've got on the tube and gone far away from our hotel to like for a specific purpose, and you get out and it's all just as populated and just as busy. So it's hard to really get like a proper idea of just how big this city is. Coming up here helps though.
When we first rocked up here, I actually thought it was a lot smaller than what it really is, but just seeing this view, it's another massive Chinese city.
Yeah, I think it's just coming from Shanghai where there's so many like tall buildings. You come here and everything seems to be a lot like flatter and sprawled out.
A lot greener too. There's just so many more parks and trees and
and lakes. This is a good spot. It was worth the climb up the stairs.
Certainly was.
Anything worth doing is worth the climb. So this is Jingsheng Park. It's right in the center of Beijing, and according to TripAdvisor and all of the blogs, the worst thing to do is to come here in the middle of the day, especially on a weekend, and we're here in the middle of the day on a weekend. It's actually not that busy at all. Considering that you get 360 views of the city and it's such a small pavilion, it's not really that crowded.
I think we might try and come back here and see a sunset on a clear night. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be a good idea actually. It's not very far away from our hotel, so yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. This is the northern side of Beijing. It's definitely a lot lower than in Shanghai. I don't know if they have like some building height restriction, but you can't see where the buildings end. They just kind of go on forever.
Amazing view. You can hear singing. Not sure if it's a recording or if the people are actually down there singing. We're getting a bit closer to the music. There's actually a piano accordion playing.
Kind of feels like we're in Europe at the moment with this music and these stone stairs. But then you catch a glimpse of like a pavilion roof and you realise, no, you're still in China. There's another band. It's like a band off. When you're standing in the middle, it's a bit...
But yet there's still more piano accordion. Let's go have a look.
It's like I don't know how they keep in time when they can hear the other music going. But they're all competing with one another. These guys are clearly popular, they've got the audience. It's like Gangnam Style, an old Chinese traditional guy having some kind of battle.
Really starting to appreciate the Chinese weekend culture. We're out in this park and people are playing cards. There's a guy doing calligraphy and there's heaps of people just mingling around, singing, piano accordions and flutes and little bands, and it's just quite a great atmosphere.
I wonder if it's like that because their houses are quite small, so they all kind of seem to get out of the house, go to the park and meet at the parks together and do their little hobbies out in nature where they can find it. Alright, so we've seen the view of Beijing. We're going to head down back to the main area and get some noodles. We found this place where they pull the noodles fresh to order and they were amazing, so we're going to get them again.
Probably the best dish that I've had on this trip.
We've also given 3 people in the park a free English lesson, so that's our good deed for the day done. We had these last night and they were so good that we just had to come back and get more. They gave us forks. Maybe they weren't impressed with our chopstick skills like that. So these are the hand-pulled noodles that you just saw the guy making, made fresh to order, and they're called spilt oil noodles. Really plain and super delicious. They're just noodles with this like chili oil stuff and some vegetables. every time we order them, they always warn us that they're spicy. Simple is normally the best, and these are amazing.
Well, here we are back in Jingshan Park. We decided to come up and watch the sunset. It's a bit cloudy, but it's still a beautiful view. There's a few people up here. And it's been a very hot day, so it's nice to come up here and get a bit of the breeze.
There's actually a lot less people here this time of day, which I'm surprised at because the views are amazing when the sun is going down, and I just thought it would be a lot more crowded, but there's no one here. It's great.
So we're leaving Beijing tomorrow. We're actually heading off to a homestay for a couple of nights right near the Great Wall. So we get to stay with some locals and check
They're going to take us on a private tour up to the Great Wall that's right near their house. So we're pretty stoked. We found this tour group that's really cheap, and I think it's going to be a lot better. Less tourists and more of the actual just nature and the Great Wall.
In fact, we'll be the only tourists there. It's going to be amazing.
So you should follow our adventure to the Great Wall of China.
See you then.
3-point contact at all times when going down some dangerous stairs.
Stop it.